Morning, y'all. Rob the American here, and welcome to Tales of Manchester and Watches. All right, y'all, it's still dark and it's cold, but we are walking to Manchester Piccadilly train station because we're going back to London. And this time, we're going for something ultra special. We're going to have a sit-down chat with Andrew McUtchen. And if you don't know who Andrew McUtchen is, you should. He is the power behind Time and Tide watches. And if you don't know Time and Tide watches, you're fixing to find out all about it. So hope you'll stick around. Folks, Time and Tide Studios is in the first floor or second floor to the Americans behind me. Now I have a confession to make. I've actually been here before. I came last week kind of scouting out trying to find it, and I could not find it. There's no street sign. So I finally called, and they got us steered me to get up here, and God bless them, I still struggle finding it. So thankfully we've done that. So let's go on in. All right, y'all, I am sitting in the Time and Tide Studios with none other than Andrew McUtchen. Andrew, thank you so much for having me in your space.
How's that American twang? Y'all. I kind of, when I say y'all, which I sometimes do accidentally, because it's such a friendly way to greet a group, I just think, God, I wish that was my culture because it's total appropriation. Aussies be like, "How you going?"
Right, yeah, that may not.
It's not as nice as y'all.
No, and I will tell you that on my YouTube channel, because I do a lot of y'alling, and I've gotten quite a few comments. Not always positive. The haters are out there. But we carry on.
Yeah, we do.
The struggle is real. All right, so Time and Tide Studios. Wow, how long has this been open now?
It's been late October. So where are we now?
So
well, kind of late
halfway through Jan.
So 3 months. Yeah, we're just about to tick over 3 months, I guess.
And how has the reception been?
It's been a bit of a blur in terms of like someone said, "Oh, it seems to be going well," as if I'm sort of passively just sitting here and opening the door, waiting for people to come in.
Counting your money.
Whereas, not so much that, but more like this idea that retail is this passive thing. You open doors and you build it and they will come. That's not our mentality. Like, we opened this and already had an event schedule that was intense. Right. Like, the first thing we did, Family and Friends Day, just to check out the point of sale systems and stuff. The second thing we did was the Sundowner launch of this watch, the Heuer Sundowner.
Oh, very cool.
Which the Time and Tide Sundowner, which was a big moment for the business. So I timed that to be one of the first things that happened in the space, and then we rolled straight into the British Weekender. Right.
Which I got an invitation to that, but I was home for Thanksgiving with my family, so unfortunately I missed that.
You missed a belter. It was 600 people through the space in 2 days, and it was, I mean, everything not sort of nailed down was taken that weekend. It was
very good.
It was really good, and then since then Toledano and Chan, and we've just had a series of kind of meaningful moments that have made sure of the success. Like, we definitely didn't want to leave it to chance, because it's been such a big gambit for us that we had to make sure that there was something exciting happening every weekend.
Right. And where do you go from here now that we're in 2025? What do you see as the vision for Time and Tide Studios here in London?
Just endless excitement and endless. We've got Matteo in today from Anoma. He's showing us the next year of drops. We've just got a box of Straum, Straum, that have arrived. Right. So we intend to just, this is more of a sort of it's like taking Glastonbury and stretching it out over a year. Like, we see this as much an activation space and as much a sort of a place where you can come as a watch lover and just sort of have a look around. What's happening? Who's here today? Right. What's going on? Someone came in a couple of days ago to buy just a watermelon, which is our most popular model, the Underdog.
Studio Underdog for those folks that aren't familiar.
And Richard was here, and the guy, his mind exploded, and then he went and bought the watermelon, but then bought a pizza and got both of us on either side of him in a picture. And so I think what the future holds for us and what 2025 holds is what hopefully all Discovery Studios will always offer, which is connection with the brands that we're selling.
Well, okay, so let me ask you about the concept of this space, because I was curious before I had come in, why would you come to Time and Tide here as opposed to going to Watches of Switzerland or going here or going there? What is it about? What do you want the draw to be?
Straight up, we have the internet famous brands that have no other access to market. You can buy Christopher Ward in the metal. You can buy an Underdog. People come in thinking it's just exhibition stock, display stock. Every brand in here is practically exclusive to us, and if you're a little bit in the watch game, brands like Baltic, Furlan, Marri, Toledano and Chan, they're household names. Like, these are towering, gigantic brands. Right. But they don't have any other access to market.
There's no store where you can go walk in and try on Studio Underdog or Christopher
Rob,
Ward.
I could talk to you all day about, you'd come in here to meet our amazing team and have great service with Barney or Armour or see us.
Well, I've been talking to James, and we went straight to
That's not why
watches.
you come here. You come here because we got the candy, we got the goods, and there's nowhere else you can get it. And we back every single brand. I'm looking across here. We've got a Nivada Grenchen, Super Antarctic there. That's just a superb sort of Explorer alternative. Right. We've got all the candy, and it's exclusive to us mostly. Right. And it's just a startling kind of new offer, because I was interested in the Belcanto. I couldn't go see one anywhere.
Right.
And now we have like 8 in that case. And people come in just to go straight to the Belcanto section. Finally, I can see it. And it's just, we got the goods. And this comes down to relationships. This comes down to how do we have this opportunity. We're very single-minded in our strategy is very simple. We want to bring watches to enthusiasts that they can't access in the metal. And we got the friendships and relationships to do it.
That's great, and I've said on my channel many times that it's about building relationships. It's about building trust. All of that thing because it is lacking sometimes. And the fact that y'all do have watches that you can't try on. I wouldn't personally. This is me personally. I would never buy a watch that I hadn't tried on.
Yeah.
As much as I love a lot of these watches, I want to see it on my wrist because you never know until you put it on your wrist whether it's going to be magic or kind of wah wah wah.
Or you can. I think your elbow is shaking this.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I'm forever doing the camera at the same time in my head. I am exactly the same. I'm not going to say I'm a little more advanced in my years than most people that buy here, but I am a different generation.
Right.
And a watch to me, I have been duped so many times and I have been romanced by amazing renders. And I know that it isn't what you hold in your hand. And I can confirm that the brands in this space will exceed your expectations. They're better than the renders. Look, I think some of the brands like Ward are getting amazing at capturing their watches, and the renders do look spectacular.
Right.
But you will only, and we're so confident that you'll love these watches up close and in the metal that we have this box here. I hope you get some B-roll of this Keras box.
Okay.
Where you can, have you seen this yet?
No, I have not.
So that's a real watch in there, and we'll take that out, put your watch in, and show you. But it's truly, it magnifies the watch, and you get to see it in a beautiful, well-lit display case. That's like, I don't know if you guys have heard of this Keras Wow box, but Rob will show you a picture.
Very good. Yeah. No, we'll do it.
Boom.
Now let me ask you this: you have no street signage.
No.
What's the story with that?
Poor planning.
Oh.
No, we don't mind in the early phases of Time and Tide in London that it's a little bit of an insider thing.
Okay.
We don't get walk-ups as a rule. One woman searched Watch Shop London like down on Portland Street and realised she was at one and sort of found the door. So we do have people come in here who may not know much about us, but by and large we do. And I don't mind that. Like I still consider that our young team are getting it together, working out. You know, we don't want to be flooded right now, but
you're still finding your feet.
We're finding our feet, and we like a nice steady flow of people through. We've got people in the team who worked at boutiques, and apparently we have an astronomically higher foot traffic to the store on a daily basis than a standard boutique. So we're fortunate that we already have great sort of thoroughfare. But I'm from Melbourne, and there's always been a little bit of brand equity and being hard to find, so I don't mind it.
Right. Okay, so that takes me. I want to switch gears a little bit, if that's okay. So, Andrew McUtchen, where did you grow up, and how did you end up? Because obviously, I didn't grow up in England. You didn't grow up in England, and people are always asking me, "Hey, Rob, how did you end up here?"
Yeah.
How did you end up here?
Well, Time and Tide, plain and simple.
So you're from Melbourne?
I'm from Melbourne.
Okay.
I was born in Melbourne and then moved out to the country. My dad is a Uniting Church minister, so he's like now he's an Anglican. He changed jerseys, but he's still within the Protestant Christian community. So I grew up moving around from town to town every 7 or 8 years. So it was quite an itinerant life until we moved to Melbourne again when I was like 13, and then we stayed in Melbourne, and I then. Later in life, or you know, post-puberty, I suppose, in my 20s, started traveling around and got a taste for travel and felt like I was in and out of. Most Australians use London as a bit of a base for all their backpacking travel. So I knew a bit about London, but then settled back in Australia and met my wife in Australia, and we had kids in Australia. And then, but through the whole time that we were raising a family, I was spending more and more time in Europe. Because of Time and Tide.
So Time and Tide started complete. There was as a journalist, as reporting on the industry. Is that correct?
Yes, I was one of the.
And when did that kind of take off? Or
in the 2010, 11, 12, I was starting to write about watches in Australia, and quickly figured out that there was two of us doing it. There was only two doing it on a world stage, going to Basel every year, and the other chap was unlikely to turn this into a business or to do anything bigger, whereas I sensed a real opportunity. Like in many countries, the print industry is supported by watches as the single biggest stakeholder. Like every magazine has watch advertising all through it. So there was definitely a business case to become a specialist in watch journalism, which I started to head towards, and then saw the opportunity for a digital platform that, as print started to, because Australia is quite an early adopter of digital technologies, and it's Apple were testing products there before America a lot of the time.
Is part of it because Australia is so isolated from the rest of the world? Do you think that was part of why Australia had already accepted that or embraced it?
I don't know. I think we're just a fairly tech-savvy society. Like for better or worse, I think I feel that it's like a second California. It's got a very Californian feel to it. I think there's a lot of American culture and that's quite pervasive in the Australian. Like it sometimes could feel like you're in California a lot of places. Sure. So there's a bit of a connection with, I suppose, that
mindset,
tech industry there, that mindset. But also, we're just where we are. It's funny seeing books advertised in London. I love it so much as a literature graduate and someone who loves. I mean, I wanted to be a novelist. That's my great dream. So to see.
Are there any book? Have you been staying up all night writing your dream novel?
No, absolutely not. Are you kidding me? I'm staying up all night thinking about what do we do with this amazing opportunity at Time and Tide, and what do we do next?
There must be a sense of satisfaction because you are building. We're not handed this by any way, and you have built it from nothing. Mm-hmm. So you must. Are you able to look at it and go, "Wow, that's pretty cool"?
I feel more able to do that because I can sit inside it. When it was a website and this kind of phantom empire of like in the pandemic, we had so many people reading Time and Tide in the pandemic, and I'm looking at these numbers sometimes. Just you can't connect 1 million people on site with anything physical or tangible. So there've been periods in the digital side of the business where I haven't been able to process the impact we could create. I could process it when I put a Doxa Pacific Time and Tide edition up for sale and it's sold instantly. It's like, oh wow, there's actually people out there and this is real. But I sit here and I remain 3 months in addicted to being in this space and watching the transactions. You've seen some of them today. Yeah. It's really stimulating, compelling, entertaining, fascinating to sit here and be inside this thing that we've really labored over and just been so obsessed with, to sit inside it. And right now we have customers in the space. We have Matteo from Anoma in the space showing us his new watches.
When I got here, there was a photographer
taking shots,
doing all kinds of stuff.
We're editing a reel with James McVeigh, one of the big rock stars in London, that we shot a video together. You're here as media. It's just now I can appreciate that this is something special.
Very good, very good. Well, all right. When I told a couple of pals of mine that I was coming to speak to you and that y'all had agreed to have a sit down with me, they said, "Oh, he seems such a great guy. He seems so nice. He seems so dedicated and stuff like that." Maybe you have everybody full of that. What's something that folks don't know about Andrew McUtchen?
Oh boy, well, I'm fairly open on social media, which is it's a contract I've made with myself. I've realized that Time and Tide wants to, you got to be the change you want to see in the world, and I want to see the watch world be more real. Therefore, I can't lead with more artifice. I can't lead with more kind of contrived identity stuff. Like you look at the big players in the watch media industry, and their public personas are very groomed. They're very curated.
Sure.
It's all very
controlled.
It's controlled. It's very, very contrived. It's very it's very intentional, which I respect. And brand is important. Like, you need to be on brand in the way that you present yourself to the world. But I've just decided to put it all out there, so there isn't much people don't know about me. But I suppose if there was one thing, what don't they know about me? What have you been surprised by having met me? And perhaps that gives me a hint.
You know, I honestly, I had no preconceived notion other than I'd seen you. And to be completely honest, you won't know this. I actually saw you. I was in the same room with you at Geneva Watch Days.
Right.
I went to Geneva Watch Days back, what was it, beginning of September of last year.
Yep.
And I hadn't even heard of Geneva Watch Days until a week before. And I was on Instagram or something, and I thought, oh my God, I want to go to that. So I got a hotel, I got a ticket.
Good on you.
Did not know a soul, don't speak the language. I just
Yeah.
I'd never been to Geneva, nothing.
I love it. I love that.
And you were, if I remember this correctly, you were kind of like the presenter talking to some influencers and some watch internet.
Matteo.
Yeah. Was he one? Oh,
Yeah.
right. Okay. Well, to be honest, you were the only one I recognized. And it was so interesting to me, this whole world. And listen, I'm as old as I am. I'm relatively new to all of this. So I'm just being a sponge.
Yeah.
So your time and tide history, I don't have that depth. And so I've met so many people like yourself. So I don't have any preconceived notion of you. I don't, just because I don't know. It's like when these British people start talking about British celebrities, and I'm sitting there like I don't know what you're talking about. You know, that kind of thing. So I don't have any preconceived. I only know from what I see with my own eyes, and it just seems so real. It seems very, and I'm not trying to kiss or anything. I'm just saying it just seemed fresh to me. And so that's how I come across. Now, you know,
if there's anything people don't know, it is a good question. I think it's probably that, because I know that when the camera goes on, which is all you watching now ever see of me, you don't see the camera off guy.
We don't see you as a dad. We don't see you as
you
a
don't
husband.
see any of those people.
We don't see you in your private time doing non-watch things or anything like that.
I think that what would surprise you about those times is probably just that there's a really strong streak of introversion, and there's a strong streak of, I need time to process everything that's happening. I'm not someone that's just...
You're not naturally outgoing and just...
I definitely am naturally outgoing, but I've realized, especially since the pandemic, when I had so much time forced on me to myself, that that is necessary to... I can't do this day after day after day after day after day. And in a way, I'm like a moth to the flame. I'm like, why do I keep coming back to the studio? I'm very powered by human contact, by conversation, by connection. But it might surprise you to know that I need a lot of time on the charger and just away from the public eye in order to be the person that you see. Sure.
So your own personal watch journey and your own collection. Can you just? That was the question I have. It's like, where are you now in your own watch journey, personal watch journey, and do you still have a Grail watch?
No, I don't have a Grail watch anymore. I just don't. I nearly bought a Patek Travel Time Aquanaut a few years ago, and I thought that was going to be a big moment at the end. Didn't happen. Don't want it now, especially after hearing from the boss. And I realized through that last kind of mythical desire piece that no, it's just, I just keep going where the journey goes. It is a bit out of control. I have, like, the business has grown and my capacity's grown to get things that I want.
Sure.
Especially relating to work. This is a big perk of the job, is that I get a lot of watches that previously would have been dreamed of. So my personal collection is pretty chaotic and pretty large, and I don't have any semblance of a collecting strategy.
Final question. I know you're a busy man. Social media, what's the best way for folks to find out about you, the company, Time and Tide?
Sure. Well, Time Tide Watches, I think, or I don't remember the handle. is the company one. Andrew _ McUtchen is me. Yeah, come join the chaos.
And definitely check if you're in the London area. Definitely come to Tide and Tide. It is well worth the trip. 100%.
No, we'd love to see you, and we genuinely are probably going to talk your ear off. So you're welcome here, whether you're buying or not.
There you go, folks. Everyone, all watch lovers welcome. Andrew, listen. Thank you so much for having me in your space.
Absolute pleasure.
This is. I wish nothing but big success and big things in your future. I'm excited to see where y'all go from here.
Yeah, I like your videos. The Rob videos with the energy at the start and the walking. I like them. So hopefully you've got some walking in and stuff.
I've done that already because I got lost trying to find your store, and I've talked about that too. So
beautiful.
So yeah, so definitely y'all check out Time and Tide, and you won't be disappointed.
Thanks so much, man.
Right. Thank you, Andrew.
Okay, cool.
All right, folks, how amazing was that? We've just left Time and Tide. Everybody was so great, so friendly and welcoming. This exceeded expectations. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. And by all means, leave a comment down below on your thoughts on Andrew McUtchen and all he had to say today. And join me again. Oh, and my Instagram is Rob_the_American. Be sure and give that a follow and join me again for some more Watch Talk. Y'all take good care.